Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this Wednesday night live Steeler Dynasty podcast. I'm your host, Bubba Brewer, with my co host, special field correspondent from West Virginia, because he knows all the West Virginia football knowledge. It's Shane Stodmiller. Shane, how you doing this evening?
Yeah, you know what? I gotta give a shout out to a Pitt Panther fan, and he
Uh-oh.
went with us, Joe Hartz. I put on my Facebook thing. It looks like the Hollywood sign, but it says "Eat Shit Pitt."
Oh, I seen that.
So he was giving me a hard time about that. So it's all in. I just hope Pitt comes to the Big 12 when the ACC falls apart. But no, Bubba, we've talked in length about the two Mountaineers that are now Steelers.
That's
And
right.
we touched upon a little bit. We talked about on Mark's show yesterday, and I watched a little bit of Mark's show before this show. So,
Well, before you do that, everybody just sit back. I know I did my personal Facebook page. We'll no longer have the Steelers Dynasty podcast because now we are allowed to do the Facebook Steeler Dynasty podcast. So you can catch us there and YouTube. So everybody just sit back. We'll be talking football, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. The NFL draft, and it was a big weekend. Okay, here we go, Shane. Like, this is going to be a little different because I changed the format to get people from, like I was telling you, we were on the in the green room there, getting people that are Steeler fans on my personal Facebook page, get them converted to the Steelers Dynasty podcast so they can also see all the Steeler news that I've been putting out there, because I'm not going to do any Steeler stuff on my personal page. I hope people can comprehend that. I don't know if I have to write them a note. I have no idea. And like you always say, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that's what we're going to do. So hopefully, as of right now, we got a couple people. You guys got your question and comments. I want to say first and foremost, myself and Shane, I'm going to say first, and I'm going to let Shane go after. It was an honor to be asked to come on to Steeler Nation Australia to do their draft show, the aftermath, and during the second day with Maddie and Mark. And we will have those guys next week. And also was an honor to be on Steelers Australia yesterday with Mark. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to those guys. We do appreciate it over here in Western Pennsylvania. There are Steeler fans all over the world, but the Australians, they get seriously into this draft. Do they not, Shane?
Maddie is so sweaty. He is it's like listening to someone talk about Magic the Gathering. When he talks about the draft stuff.
Oh, it's like nerdy things. Like he was getting so into the draft. Like, dude, he's blowing me off the doors.
Can't give him shit because it's sports. Right. Not like he's talking about Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
Was on in fifth gear. I start listening around noon. I think they've been on for like maybe 20 minutes, like 12:30.
Oh, man.
It's still on off for a few hours. I'd do something around the house. I'd have my headphones on.
Right.
And then I came on for a little bit. And up until probably the last hour, he was in fifth gear. He only went down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mark was like shifting between second and third.
Yeah, he was slowing down just a bit.
I haven't slept.
Well, the thing is, after we did our mega cast, I jumped on Thursday night, and he did a reaction to a reaction show. So I was with those guys until 4:30 in the morning, and I went to work, and then I did, we did something Friday night, to keep it going. It was just a spur. I just figured heck with it. I combined both podcasts together, and we did second day, and Rich Smoke come on from NFL Elite Banner come on and helped us out a little bit. Thank you to Rich. And if you guys want all the NFL news, check out the NFL Elite Banner. I think he's going to do a little bit of revamping, he said. I don't know. I did him a logo, but I haven't heard. He didn't like the first one. I gave him the second one. I haven't heard nothing. But he is a busy guy, so I don't know. But Now, did you like doing that stuff? Did you like talking about the draft? Because they were picking your West Virginia knowledge, man. You were
I'm okay with talking NFL stuff if it has to do with college. This is the time of year I can give some insight. Like Plumlee. Like I watched him play against West Virginia. I threw an interception. Beanie Bishop picked him off. You know, Plumlee is an undrafted free agent. If you don't know, that the Steelers picked up.
Let's talk about him since you want to. Okay, what do you see in that free agent that we signed? Since you already said you saw some stuff on him already.
So since I unwrapped this one, I'll talk. So Plumlee is like, I guess they there was an article by Chris Ward in Steelers Now today.
Okay.
So they're talking to him. He's a 23-year-old guy that played for Ole Miss, which is an SEC school. Okay, so
gotcha.
He knows a little bit, and he played behind a guy that that competed for the Heisman. So he's not some schlep that was a third string or fourth string. He's a quality quarterback.
Gotcha.
I see him. I see him possibly fitting in as a backup role because he's five. He's about my height, and he's 5'11" and 3/4.
Okay.
5 pounds. I'm like 220, but that's not a very big guy. But he runs a 4.5. He had a real good shuttle score, vertical jump of 37 inches. I mean, he's an athletic guy. I think he'd be a good practice squad quarterback. But I don't know. As an undrafted free agent, it's good bang for your buck. And he was a 4-star recruit in high school, so he has the
pedigree. He has the pedigree. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it. He has the pedigree. Is he as good as a Mason Rudolph? Probably. I don't think he'd be.
He can't be any worse, though. He can't be any worse than Mitch Trubisky, and really, he can't be any worse than Kenny Pickett.
He might come into his own and really show people something, but you don't know. But if he were 6'3", he probably would have been drafted for sure. But
okay. Well, that was one of the free agents that the Steelers did sign, and we will talk about that later. And we'll talk about now. We can go right into the NFL's draft. The Steelers, I've been hearing and I've been seeing, had one of the best drafts out of every team. Now, Philadelphia was ranked in there, but Pittsburgh in a certain amount was ranked number 1. I'm not giving any bias, people. I didn't do these. Steelers were picked number 1 in some of these draft picks. So realistically, the first draft pick, I was okay. I'm okay with this. I believe he's going to be starting is this gentleman right here, Mr. Troy Fontenua. And I'm going to massacre that name probably many, many times on this podcast show, Shane. He was the 20th pick. They didn't trade up. We figured they might have traded up. They kind of had me leery of maybe going a cornerback and then a lineman in the second draft. What did you think? What do you think about this number 1 pick?
I don't know. I think an offensive tackle is a better bet than a cornerback. I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's the void that's there. You could probably fill some of the spots with later round draft picks at cornerback. They might give up a play here and there, but it's a lot better to have them give up a play here and there than have somebody just blindside your quarterback and break in.
Well, he's an all Pac-12 first teamer, 2023. Second straight year he earned that honor. Started all 15 games, ladies and gentlemen. So that durability and dependability is what you want in an offensive line. And then he won the Morris Trophy for the offensive line in the Pac-12. So he's coming in with some kind of pedigree. And I believe, I'm hoping Dan Moore don't last. I know a lot of people do like Dan Moore, but I think hopefully he starts. Maybe Dan Moore will start in the preseason, maybe the first couple games, and then Troy just slowly takes over. Can you see that, Shane, or do you think they're going to put Troy right in the mix?
I think they're going to put him right in the mix. We'll know. You're not going to. This isn't going to be like a controversy. We'll know after the first 3 days of training camp. So.
Okay, I can go with that. I'm not a big Dan Moore supporter, so Like I've been saying for this show and Steeler Nation Australia and every other show I'm on, Ralph Williams, Dan Moore's best game was Big Ben's last game, and he hasn't done anything since. He's the worst Pro Football Focus tackle in the league. Stats don't lie, people. So also too, now we were all happy the second round pick. Everybody's ecstatic. You're ecstatic being a West Virginia alumni.
Mhm.
And you could say so much about this guy, and you have on every podcast you've been on, even your West Virginia podcast and all the Steeler podcasts you've been on. I mean, you are like the connoisseur of the second round pick, Mr. Frazier here. And I think I had a pick. I think I had a lovely. Hold on, I got a lovely picture to bring here. You know, I'm just getting him. You know, I'm trying to be a lot tech savvy, people.
Well,
but I'm going to do with a picture. There he is right here. Look at that.
Zach Frazier.
54. Go ahead.
He will literally, knock you into next week and then make you an end table.
An end table. Okay. Well, it's better being a coffee table.
Whatever, as he says, whatever his, what he said in his interview is he builds whatever his wife tells him to. So, might be a coffee table.
And you said that, like I said, on a whole bunch of stuff. So you said that he's married, so he's more copacetic on situations. He's not going to go out and get crazy. He's not going to go out and cause trouble being a rookie. He's not going to do the stupid shit of being a rookie because he's already grown up in certain situations because he is married.
No, this is the cat that would probably go buy a bass boat and not like a Ferrari. This is the guy that's going to go buy a bass boat and maybe a shotgun for turkey hunting. I mean, he's that kind of guy. So if you're, he's right in the wheelhouse of Western Pennsylvania, and
he's a big hunter fisherman. So he's a big outdoorsy kind of guy.
I don't know if he hunts or fishes, but that's the type of guy he is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I bet he does. I bet he bet he does. But he was also he was started in 37 games at center, and like you said, over the last 3 years, he had 4 different quarterbacks. He had 3 different offensive coordinators or 4 different offensive coordinators. He didn't allow a sack all season. He came off the field to save West Virginia a timeout, so they didn't have to call it.
So I'm going to talk about that. I mean, I've talked about a number of times, but so my football IQ is average. Okay. And I think
it's pretty good though. I think it's better than average.
So I did not know that there was a runoff penalty. So if you take a injury timeout with a certain amount of time left in a ball game, they add 10 seconds to the clock. Mm-hmm. So they were driving against Baylor and they were controlling the clock with that drive to win the game.
Right.
The Mountaineers end up winning against Baylor. With 23 seconds left, he broke his leg. Zach Frazier broke his leg. Okay. And it's
unreal.
A bad break. It's not like a hairline fracture or a avulsion fracture or something like that. Mm-hmm. So what he did, so he had the wherewithal and the intelligence to know what that rule was and that they would be assessed additional time, which would give them a chance to score. They had just lost against Oklahoma State and Houston, and against Houston with a Hail Mary, and Oklahoma State they lost in the last second. So two games they lost. He thought, oh my gosh, this is going to happen again. So right. What did he do? He did like a bear crawl with his one leg sticking out off the field. I'm like, what the hell? And it wasn't until the post game that I realized that it was just such a heads up play.
Well, you said he was intelligent. So
yeah.
So he's like a ring general on the field being a center.
Yeah, but he's like a I think he's more of a I think he'll tear into some ass and chew some hiney, but most of the time I think he's like that quiet, leader.
Reserve. Okay.
Yeah, everybody just, knows, hey.
And he was like what, a collegiate wrestler, a state wrestler, so he's got
4 years he was the state champion in West Virginia as a heavyweight, and his only losses were his freshman year, the first couple matches, and then he basically went on a tear. Hey, Gene Smith.
Gene, thanks for coming on.
So, that's what you have with old Zach Frazier. The other folks we got are
Here we go. We got round 3. He was the 84th pick. 84, AB's old number. Roman Williams, receiver out of Michigan. He's right here. Okay. He had 46 career games. He finished his career with 107 receptions, over 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns. In 2023, in 15 games, he had 48 receptions, 789 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He's known for his blocking, and he felt that he was a top 10 receiver going into the draft. So he's got a little bit of moxie, a little thing on his shoulder, like one of them batteries that you had to, remember when we were kids and at Robert Conrad, you had to knock the battery off. Go ahead, I dare you. That's what he's got. He's got some of that. So what do you think about this pickup for the Steelers?
It was terrific with the Wolverines,
even though it was under hardball.
10 to 12 really deep catches, and if I can recall reading, it's one of the most of any receiver in college last year. So he played most of the time in the slot at Michigan, and he will be one of those guys who transitions to the outside without any issue. But I think they'll use him a lot in the slot. He has it's like he has stickum on his hands. I mean, he was able to land anything that went around him. He just snagged. He was fantastic in the championship game.
So you think Calvin Austin might got something to worry about if he doesn't get his head out of his ass at training camp and start producing? He could be sitting on the bench, and Mr. Wilson could be.
I think they're going to sit Pickens.
Over him.
It goes as follows. I think this is the pecking order: George Pickens, Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, Van Jefferson, and Quez Watkins. I think that's your pecking order.
Ooh, okay. Now, later on, after we talk about these draft picks, we'll see if something happens where it could change the diversity of that lineup that you just said. So, okay, here we go. And Steelers got another third-round pick, 98th pick. They must be related. They got Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of North Carolina. And the reason why I got this picture, because I wanted to show everybody this physical specimen. This dude doesn't have an ACL in his knee, but either did Greg Lloyd. So
that's kind of creepy,
Yeah, he was on the Steelers board very high. He played 46 games, had 402 tackles, 202 solo, 15 sacks, 7 interceptions, and he's able to play in the box, which we need. And he's also able to drop into coverage, which we also need because we haven't seen that since Shazier, but we do have Patrick Queen. So, and he was also the 2023 Butkus Award winner, and he was the Bednarik Award winner, which is the nation's top defensive player. So he's coming in with some pedigree on the defense. So, what do you think about him, Shane?
Oh man. So they added Zach Frazier and Roman Wilson. He was a 98th pick, so I really think there was some guys out there I'd rather see, but it creeps me out that he doesn't have that ACL.
Well, hey.
I saw a video of him catching someone from behind, so he has some speed to him, and he did all right in the combine.
So he's like a gazelle.
Yeah, he does pretty good, but
tiger, because tigers do take down the gazelle.
And Bubba, he's one of the best coverage linebackers. Okay, he intercepted 2 passes last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's also an okay run stopper. So he's a little bit of a blend, but he's going to be a great outside linebacker. And with Cole Holcomb, his health being you don't know what you have. No. You have Patrick McQueen, but it's nice to have a little bit of depth. So I give this a C+.
Okay, C plus.
C+.
Woo!
If you had an
ACL,
B-.
There's been a lot of Steeler insiders that gave this pick a very high pick.
Yeah,
Very high.
I'm so creeped out by that. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. Jerry Dulac, which I got some stuff here about Jerry Dulac on his grade. We'll get to that. So, but also too, in the 4th round pick, 119th pick was Mason McCormick, this big giant bulldozer of a man, South Dakota State guard. Played 70 games, had a school record. 57 games played, all 15 games in 2023, was an All-American. He's described to be the meanest motherfucker and the nicest player around. I added that mother effer in there.
Yeah,
but
he's nasty from what I've read.
Everybody likes him. I think he's going to be some depth this year, which next year he could work himself into a starting role. I want to see him down at training camp, knocking some heads and seeing how mean, because if he's got a mean streak in the Oklahoma drills, there could be some fisticuffs down there in Latrobe at Chuck Noll Stadium.
Well, you know, the only thing that didn't just score off the chart was his height and his weight. But his bench press was God tier, elite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. His 10-yard split, 20-yard split, his 40-yard was 5.08, which is really good. His vertical was 36 inches. His broad jump was 9 feet.
Look at that big guy. Look at that big guy. He took up the whole space of the TV screen.
Yeah.
He's huge.
And he has fairly long arms for his height. So Bubba, I've watched just a little bit of tape of him, and he is a perfect fit for a run-first offense.
Well, that's good because the Steelers are definitely going to be running a lot. Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll just get to well, I had another picture, and you know what? My technical difficulties. I had it 6th round pick, 178th pick, Logan Lee, defensive end out of Iowa. He played 43 games, started 41 of them. 158 career tackles, 58 solo, 18.5 tackles for losses, 9 sacks, started 13 games in 2023, and a huge Steeler fan. Reminds me of Kiesel a little bit. Kiesel or Aaron Smith.
Yeah, Logan Lee is the whitest Korean guy I've ever seen.
His dad was probably Tiger Chung Lee, ex-WWE wrestler. Yeah, that's funny. That's fun. Well, depth. We'll have to see how he does. A lot of people think we could have got some other picks. Maybe. I don't know. And round 6, I did get a graphic for this one. It's another Watt on the team.
Yeah.
195 pick, Ryan Watts, defensive back out of Texas. He played 2 seasons at Texas because he transferred from Ohio State. He played 24 games, started 23 of them. In 2023, had 38 tackles, 30 of them solo in 11 games. He played 2 seasons at Ohio State. 9 games, helped the Buckeyes win the Big Ten and the Sugar Bowl championship. So he has a little bit of pedigree of winning some big games. And we'll just have to see. Maybe he'll be in the slot corner, in case Corey Trice does not come back. And we'll have to see. But I know we got these free agent signings, and I'll go through them quickly. But I'm going to start off with your boy, good old Beanie Bishop from West Virginia. So, he ran a 4.3 in a pro day. He's an inside, cornerback position. What is your take on the old the Bishop?
I'm buying. So I don't know.
You're buying him. You think he's going to make the? Think he?
He'll make. Hopefully he makes the team. I mean, the only thing that would keep him from not making the team is, and I've said this before on a bunch of different shows, guys. He's handsy. He has an innate ability and a knack for, Gene Smith. He makes plays on the ball with such velocity at a perfect time that the receiver, you think they're going to make the catch, and he interrupts it, or he forces them to lose.
So does he have like speed, like get to the ball speed, like
real
closing
fast
speed? Close is okay. Okay.
Really fast on the line of scrimmage for, he's a short, where Porter Jr., we had some concerns about his tackling ability in the flats.
Right.
He's done better than we thought. We give him, he's done a lot better than what we were worried about that, but he's done good. That's where Beanie Bishop excels. He's really good at that. He's also just has a nose for the ball, just is always where.
Is he a ball hawk? Being a ball hawk's pretty good though.
Yeah, his interceptions are just, freakish, just turning his head and just being right there when the ball's there, or if the ball hits the player and he reaches out and grabs it. And, he's really good at returning punts.
We do not have a punt returner.
So I think that's where he's going to make his hay. That's where he's going to earn his spot on the Steelers squad as
okay with that.
Team's player.
Well, I'm not saying Calvin Austin's not a punt returner, but I think Calvin Austin was more of a kick returner, but now with Patterson being a kick returner, we have that position already filled. So they're not going to have Patterson as a punt returner. So they definitely would need
about Beanie is if it's not that they're going to do a fake punt, but if they do a fake punt, he can cover. He's really good athletic pick. If he were just a few inches taller, he would have been drafted.
Right. Yeah, and there's a few of them, and I'm sure we're going to be talking, good old Bishop every show here, because once minicamp comes in and you see more on them in the Steelers, your eyes are gonna be, fine tuned with him, Shane. So you'll probably be adding a lot to the Bishop Chronicles. That's what we need to call him if he gets signed. But we also got center Trey Brown from Jacksonville State. Dejon Edwards, running back from Georgia. He didn't get drafted, but we signed him. Julius Westcroft, edge. I think it's that international pick, I believe. I'm not sure.
Let's talk about that running back from Georgia.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mark, what's up? Here we go.
If you play running back in the SEC at a program like Georgia, okay, legitimately, you should have a shot of making a NFL program. Okay,
yeah, you shouldn't be drafted. Like, is it that bad?
It's God tier. You got Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. Those are the big dogs, and the fact that he was the running back there, he should be productive. He should be able to touch the ball a little bit this year, maybe get a couple, I don't know, preseason. I can't wait I'm not usually excited about preseason games, but this year I think the preseason is going to be really entertaining.
Well, I was excited last year, but it was all an illusion, and it just cut the legs out from under me. So this year it's going to be I'm going to not go in it like blind. I want to be more paying attention.
It was so effortless for the Steelers. It just looked like,
first team was out. First team was getting a sarsaparilla and a pizza at 11 minutes in the first quarter on every preseason game. One drive, they were scoring. It was all a delusion. But this year we're going to see a lot of players, see a whole new revamped, different offense, a run, smash mouth. I can't wait for that. I really can't. But also, too, we got the quarterback that you talked about, John Reyes Plumlee from Central Florida. You already talked about him. And they compared him to the Hill quarterback from the New Orleans Saints, doing those trick plays and stuff and catching balls out of the backfield and stuff like that. So you might see some different stuff here a little bit. Anyway, you won't see a lot in preseason. Jacoby Winham, linebacker from Michigan State, and Darian McKenzie, defensive back, Mermack College.
I didn't even know Mermack existed. I mean, I thought that was a made-up name. I thought
it was too, like with the mermaids and shit. Mermack, but those are the free agents that I knew about. There could be more out there, and the Steelers are always looking to sign people. So maybe next week there'll be some more free agents. I usually every time that somebody gets signed, I usually tell everybody on the show here. So, but the Steelers, I have another segment here. The Steelers could sign these 5 free agents. Okay. Now, they need a slot cornerback because that's their biggest need for one of the biggest needs for the Steelers. They, I listened to, Deke last night. He had stuff like 5 rankings. But anyway, the first one is DJ Clark, receiver down at Jacksonville. If we get him at an economical price, because we do not have a clear number 2 with the Steelers. Okay, number 2 would be Clanton Sullivan. He already played for the Steelers at a cornerback. He already knows the Steelers defense, so he could come back, and he was getting a little better during the season. Started off kind of slow. Okay, this one here, I would take him in a heartbeat. Justin Simmons, safety. I would take him. Would you take him, Shane? I would take him.
I would.
Denver. I mean, he's okay. Now this is. I'm going to ask you if you. We should go to the Magic 8 Ball on this one.
Okay.
You want to?
Let me pull it up.
This is not the questions that the fans wrote me, because the fans did write me some questions.
Oh boy.
For the Magic 8 Ball. Yes, I got it mailed to my house the other day. But let's go with the Magic 8 Ball. Let's ask.
Can you see it? Here,
yeah. Yep. I will share it. There we go. Right there. The Magic 8 Ball. Now, I know Mark had a little bit of problems last night on his show doing a Magic 8 Ball. So I'll just try to talk Pitskinese here, Yinzer talk.
Yeah.
Will the Steelers sign Odell Beckham Jr.? God, I hope not. Magic 8 Ball. Steeler Dynasty podcast. Whoa! No! I don't know. I think the Magic 8 Ball was off on that one. No! I agree. No! I agree. Yeah. Well, maybe are you sure the Magic 8 Ball didn't have a sarsaparilla or two?
Let me ask the real one. Ready?
Yeah, ask the real one there. Go ahead.
Okay.
Will the Steelers sign Beckham Jackass Jr.? The Magic 8 Ball is drunk, Mark. I do believe that. What's it say? What does it say? I can't see. I'm old. What? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Shane just got knocked out.
That didn't
read it.
Technology, it's not what my thing's upside down. Oh my gosh, guys, this is entertaining.
What does it say? Oh, it's a circus. What does it say?
It said all signs point to no.
Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
Your realistic 8 Ball is sober. The one here on the screen is drunk as shit. There is no way that the Steelers are signing Odell Beckham. I wouldn't want him to save my life. There's got to be somebody out there. Number 5, the 5th free agent that the Steelers could sign, I could see this, is Bud Dupree. Because if they don't sign Marcus Golden, they need some depth. He come back pretty economically sound, and Bud Dupree said he would come back. So, will they sign that jack-off Beckham? Who's that guy? Yeah, I hope not. But anyway, since we got the Magic 8 Ball out, I got 2 questions from the fans. The fans of the Steelers Dynasty podcast. Thank you guys for writing to my house. I took my address off, so it's not shown. But I will go. I don't know what it says. I don't know. Johnny Carson used to do this, but I don't know. Let's just see if I can guess. Is it about who do we sign for number 1? Did we sign a center and a number 1 pick? We'll see if that's it. Hold on. I'm ripping it open. Then we'll ask the question to your Magic 8 Ball, Shane. Since it's Magic 8 Ball segment time. Magic 8 Ball segment. The only podcast in the world that does a Magic 8 Ball for Steelers stuff. Okay. Question is, will Logan Lee, the defensive end, make the Steelers roster in 2024? Let's go to the crystal ball. This is dramatic. Don't count on it. Whoa! You heard it here, folks, on Steelers Dynasty podcast. Myself and Shane The question was, will Logan Lee, the defensive end they just drafted, make the Steelers roster in 2024? And the Magic 8 Ball said, do not count on it. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. So go back in the archives. If he gets cut, you heard it here first. You need to subscribe to the Steelers Dynasty podcast. We also got Facebook, and we have no comments on Facebook. This is the first time ever that we never had a comment on Facebook because I didn't use my personal page because I'm moving it to the Dynasty Facebook page and the YouTube channel Facebook page. I told people, I don't know how simple it is. Okay. I didn't put it to my head. So, okay, Magic 8 Ball. We have another question here. Okay. And we appreciate all you guys listening and questions and comments. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Woo! Oh, this is another one. Okay. Shake it up here. Will the Steelers sign former cornerback Cam Sutton? Will the Steelers sign former cornerback Cam Sutton? I hope he is, George. I hope he is.
It's decidedly so.
It's decidedly so. Wow, the Magic 8 Ball. We'll have to see. Will the Steelers sign Sutton? He's been talking to the Steelers. Tomlin's been talking to him. Those are my two questions coming from the fans. I appreciate it, guys, for Facebook messaging me these questions. And we don't want to, blow our seed all over the place. So we don't want to use it all at once. So we did 3 questions. I think we'll do like maybe 2 questions a show because and if the Logan Lee and the Cam Sutton thing comes out, and it's right, my God, you're gonna have to put that Magic 8 Ball in like some kind of box or something, some kind of glass. So, but anyway, like I said before, and you said that some Logan Lee was not a good draft pick. He wasn't high on your roster, higher on your radar. But Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Jerry Dulac, he had his draft report card. Okay. He had Troy Fatanua. I didn't mess that up yet. Wow, that's good because usually Japanese wrestlers, I screw it up. He gave him an A+.
Well,
he gave.
Bubba,
I know it's all crazy.
Steelers Wire has had a great post. Was it yesterday or today? I can't remember, but I'm going to go through what they're saying is going to be the starting defense after week 1. Okay. So
got you. Go ahead.
Quick, you ready?
I'm ready.
And Larry
Obajobi.
Yeah, that's it.
Larry Obajobi.
Keenan Benton is the nose tackle.
Gotcha.
Cam Hayward is defensive tackle.
Okay. That's pretty solid.
Left outside backer TJ Watt.
Solid. Very solid.
Right.
Double solid.
Ty Smith.
Take that. That front 5 is devastating. Fucking devastating right there. Okay, keep going.
Inside linebacker Patrick Queen.
Yes. Best signing of the season. Yes.
That's
okay.
Absolutely. Right inside linebacker Peyton Wilson.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Joey Porter Jr.
Okay.
Right corner Dante Jackson, another free agent.
Well, that's that one we got, I think, with the Dante Johnson trade, I think. I think that's what we got.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
Mika Fitzpatrick. Now, and then your strong safety is Deshaun Elliott.
Okay. I don't see nothing wrong with that defense. Where'd you get that? Steelers Wire.
Steelers Wire. USA
okay.
Today.
Okay. Well, I can't bitch about that. Okay. Now I'm going to finish Dulac because maybe that's why that Wilson got into a high, to a starting position here with this grade. He took Zach Frazier at a B+.
Yeah.
Which I think that'd be a little higher in my eyes. He gave Roman Wilson an A. Now get this one. because you said you don't think he's not whatever. And we first started the show, you weren't feeding the love.
Yeah, I mean,
Peyton Wilson, he gave him an A plus,
really?
an A plus.
Okay.
Yes. Mason McCormick got a B. Logan Lee got a C plus.
I agree with that.
And the worst, Ryan Watts got a C. But this total grading score for the Steelers 2024 draft was an A. Jerry Dulac, and Dulac knows because he's a Steelers insider. He's a Steelers go-to guy. So
Yeah, I'd love that Peyton.
Yeah, A plus. I figured you would. Yeah, because you're like, I don't know, Bob. A plus, and you just said he's going to start.
He looks good, but you got to remember,
It looks like $1 million in that picture I showed. Look at his picture. Jesus God Almighty! He looks like a goddamn $1 million. Look at that. Look at it. He's fucking jacked. He's ripped.
He looks like Sam Hartman on gear.
I don't know, man. He's ripped, man.
Sam Hartman, that was the Notre Dame's quarterback, looks like.
Oh yeah. He had the good hair. He's got curly hair. Wilson got curly hair.
Yeah.
He's Curly Wilson. Curly Wilson.
Favorite.
Hey, I'm happy with this draft, man. This last year's and this year's draft is building stuff up. Steelers are getting picked #1 draft. I mean, this is so good. I mean, so good. I mean, 17 hours. Mark was doing his show. We did about 12. Next year we need to do about 30. I don't know. Maybe we should have like snacks coming in, like Uber, like everybody, have a donut. The donut. Have some donuts, and I need to start drinking during them drafts. Maybe that's why I didn't.
So Bubba, I have one last segment for our show.
Okay, and I got one after that, so we're good. Let me hear it.
It's brought to you guys by MSN Sports, so it's just your USA Today generic
MSN.
site.
Ooh,
yeah. So it gives us the NFL power rankings. Okay, after the
before
draft.
the season, even the draft, or okay.
It tells you guys, what they were before the draft and after the draft. So
okay,
Kansas City stayed #1.
Of course.
Okay. They didn't move up or down.
Uh-huh.
San Francisco.
Speaking of Kansas City real quick. I know you didn't watch this, but he was on Monday Night Raw, fucking Patrick Mahomes, and he gave Logan Paul all 3 of his Super Bowl rings, took them off his hand. Logan Paul went in a ring and used it to smash somebody in the head with his Super Bowl rings. Even though, he probably pulled his punch, Mahomes gave all 3 of them off his hand, which I could not believe. Now, they could have been replicas. They could have been. But I'm just saying, wow. And he was there at the Raw, and Braun Strowman was going to pick him up like a sack of potatoes, which I would have paid Braun Strowman to grab him and put him in a fucking chokehold, because that'd have been great, because then they had a second-string quarterback, and then Patrick Mahomes would have been out for the season. But I just wanted to throw that out there when you were talking about #1. So
fantastic. But I mean, I didn't see that, but that sounds entertaining as all heck. But I would think they were the real ones, because to get a replica would still cost quite a bit of money.
No. This is funny. I do have some replica Super Bowl rings. Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And they're heavy. Oh, they're heavy, man. I have them. I have 2 Super Bowl rings, and they're heavy. I go out if I want to look like bling or pretend like I'm a Steeler, like I was a 3rd string, Yeah, I was a 3rd string long snapper, back when I was single, and I would like, hey, see my bling? Yeah. Hey, you got it. Hey, one time I told somebody I was Merrill Hodge down at Sandy K's. Remember Sandy K's in Shalakta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down there. Me and Jeff Stomp late at night. We were all drinking and doing whatever, and the girl said something. And I was like, hey, don't mess with me. I'm Merrill Hodge. You know who Merrill Hodge is? Just give me my food, because I'm Merrill Hodge, Pittsburgh Steelers halfback. Yeah. Nothing beats the Steelers scene and Smokey the Bandit Part 2.
On the show.
How much are those rings? Well, my rings weren't, I think $70, I think. I actually got them bought for me. My buddy Troy Fritz bought them for me for a Christmas gift, actually.
That's cool. That's a cool Christmas gift. So
I'm sorry. Get back. I'm sorry. I went off tangent.
State at number 1. San Francisco 2-2. Baltimore 3-3. No change. Lions no change at 4. Packers still at 5. Here's where it gets interesting. The Philadelphia Eagles went from 7-6.
Okay.
The Bills went from 9-7. The Texans stayed at 8. The Bengals, they actually dropped. They went from 6-9.
Okay.
The Jets went from 12-10. The Browns stayed at 11. I don't understand how the Browns are ahead of the Steelers.
Yeah,
The
I don't
Rams
either.
went from 10-12. The Steelers jumped from 17-13 in the power rankings.
Okay.
The Colts
Well,
went from 19-14. The Bears went from 20-15. The Chargers went from 22-16. And now you have the teams that kind of crap the bed. The Dolphins went from 13-17. The Cowboys went from 14-18. The Falcons went from 15-19. The Bucks went from 16-20. The Jaguars went from 18-21. Arizona Cardinals they improved. They went from 26-22. The Vikings went from 29-23. The Raiders stayed about the same, went from 23-24. Seahawks, same deal, 24-25. Commanders went up a notch.
Browns are overrated.
Yeah.
Overrated.
So on and so on. So,
Pepper.
Guys,
Pepper's in the house. Pepper, thanks for tuning in.
Saying basically Steelers jumped up 4 or 5 spots in the power rankings, but I think they're full of horse shit because there's no way the Bills are looking better.
No, the Bills are devastated because everybody left. They don't have anybody but Josh Allen.
Or the Bengals, or the Jets.
I can see the Bills going higher than that.
And he's taken Viagra and has Steve Rogers serum.
Yeah, but everybody it all depends on who does these rankings. So everybody and their brother. I mean, we can have rankings. I mean, we do our top 10 on the Express and we do our top 10 movies and shit. Our rankings don't mean diddly. You know?
Our rankings are awesome.
I think so too. I think when we do stuff, it's awesome, and we do appreciate everybody for tuning in and staying on. The YouTube because like I said, I switched it up from my personal Facebook where I got like 50 people. Okay, I mean when I have it on my personal page, there's comments and bebopping around. I put it out there for everybody to read. I don't know if I have to spell it out to everybody, because we're moving to the Steelers Dynasty. So you have to hit like on the Facebook page and you have to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. I don't know how, because this is the first time ever that I had one person, I believe, or 2 people, but nobody commented. And usually my Facebook is just lambasted. For many years, lambasted. But look, people, you have to go from my personal page to the Dynasty Facebook page, because I'm trying to get more Steelers stuff on that page, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it because I don't want to post Steelers stuff on my personal page anymore. I could put everything onto the digest page, which people would actually, if there's anything going on, it gives me something to do. So my own personal page is not flooded with Steelers stuff, and people can comment on that, because people actually explode during a regular season in my private messages and my social media on my personal page about the Steelers and the score and all that stuff. Like, I get lambasted like no other. But before we get out of here, I wanted to see what you thought of this that I just saw before I came on, which I like this, if this could happen. And maybe Peppa, George, Gene, and Mark.
Yeah, that's who's on the call.
Yep. Yeah. So let me see. Maybe the people that are here can comment and let's get their take. There is another receiver that is now on the trade. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. You must know what I'm talking about.
I'm hoping I'm on the same page.
This right here, Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, now is rumored, another rumor, to add to the more rumors that the Steelers could be trading for. Could happen. Maybe happen. I don't know.
And then maybe Mark or Gene in the comments. Would you take Metcalf or Cam or Sutton? Would you take Metcalf or Sutton if you had to pick one of the guys?
Well, what about if you gave all four? Okay, now because you put Metcalf in, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, or Cortland Sutton. Those four receivers, who would you take if the Omar Khan could pull the biggest con and get us a receiver? Who would you take? I'll let it out to the masses, and let's see here.
So Permane Brothers used to have, Permane Brothers used to have a pizza pan of fries you could get for like $7.
Uh-huh.
To get that, and the kids would just tear it up.
Sutton for the money. George is taking Sutton.
Stopped doing that, and that kid we
Which
got,
one, Gene?
Oh yeah, there you go.
You got to take which one, Gene? You got all four. Which one do you take?
One. But I was thinking that kid that was a little bit light at 281 that needs to gain about 20 pounds. Permanis needs to bring that back just for the Steelers.
Well, they could give him 3 sandwiches. If he eats 3 Permane Brothers sandwiches a day, by the end of a month, he'll gain like 10 pounds. They're going to give him what? That's his order. Oh, okay, that's my order. So he's taking Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk for Ayuk. Okay, that's his order. Who would you take? You would still stick with Sutton, Shane?
I like Metcalf. I think he would be.
I like Metcalf too, but I like this person even a little better because we have the running Debo Samuel. I'll take Debo. That's because I just want to say Debo.
When you say Debo, I think of Harrison.
Yeah, but I mean that's the only really Debo. Well, Debo's Tiny Lester off of Friday.
Yeah, I love that fact he rides that cruiser bike.
Yeah, he was good at No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. Not really, but yeah. So hey, before we get out of here, and everybody, please, thanks for coming on the YouTube channel, and we'll get this Facebook up to where we need to be. I swear. So hey, we got let's see here real quick. Shane Show here. Big Fan Zone. I think I probably have to get another one, right? That's probably not the right one, but
I'll give you an updated one. But
okay, give me an updated one. And then
tomorrow at 7.
Tomorrow at 7. Club Sandwich, proud sponsor of the APWF. Wallback Insurance, proud sponsor. Aflac. All right, check Shane Brandenburg, get some insurance. One Pittsburgh channel. All right, Walking Dead Promotions. They do production for The Walking Dead and major sci-fi and horror movies. Break It All Productions, proud sponsor of the APWF show. And AHT and 15701, Chad Henry from Indianapolis Colt Scout. This is his monarchy for the show. He is the big sponsor, and he's sponsoring the main event. And Shad Coe. And State Farm Win Climber with Dave Smith and PPJs, 6.5 packs, deli sandwiches, skilled games, and Optimal Heights Physical Therapy in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Oh my God. Yucatan Tanning Salon, proud sponsor in Indiana. Go see Debbie if you want to, get a tan. Bunker Club, Troy Fritz, thanks for sponsoring. And Stronghold Center, if you want to become a professional wrestler, go down to Stronghold Training Center and get a hold of Brandon Kay and Dean Radford. And also right here, ladies and gentlemen, Live Pro Wrestling APWF presents Evolution, June 23rd, 3 p.m. bell time. The main event is the NWA World Championship, EC3 versus Big Time Bill Collier, and about 8 other matches. Tickets are on sale at www.apwfwrestling.com. That's my whole spiel.
I wrestled EC3. I know how I'd beat him. You want to hear how I'd do it?
Yeah, how would you beat him?
I'd throw a couple donuts at him because that cat has not seen a car.
I don't think he's ate a donut. I don't think Bill Collier's ate a donut either. Those two dudes are huge. Yeah. But hey, next week, guys, on the show, we will have Mark from Steelers Nation Australia, and Maddie will be in the house. 2 Australians, 2 people from West Virginia, You got 4 corners. They're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball some stuff, I'm sure, because Mark tried it yesterday, and it didn't like Mark, and I don't know. So yeah, it was bad. So like I said, and if you guys haven't subscribed to Steelers Nation Australia, please do. Mark does great content every day. He's doing something. He's a pro Steeler. He's a diehard, and yeah, it did hate him. It said it hated him. Yeah, and we do appreciate having the brothers from overseas, the Steeler brothers from overseas, coming over onto our show, because it was an honor for me and Shane to go on his show, and it's going to be a hoot next week.
Bubba, remember those college kids that used to walk around and sell encyclopedias in the summer about 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, well, I never bought any, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Matty is that guy selling Steelers knowledge. He's spreading the gospel. He's like,
well, that's because he knows his draft stuff.
Yeah.
He knows his draft stuff. Oh, thank you, Pepper. Mark versus the Magic 8 Ball, the steel cage match next week at 9:00. The return. It's pay-per-view. Mark versus the Magic 8 Ball. Thank you, Pepper, for coming on. Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you Steeler fans. And like I said, people, on my personal Facebook page, you have to go and hit like on my Steelers Dynasty podcast page. Get those numbers up, and then go to YouTube and just listen and subscribe. And we're slowly doing it. We're slowly getting stuff out there. We're live every Wednesday night at 9:00. We'll probably do another show when the regular season starts, and we will do some small video vignettes of stuff that's happening. Bring your cue stick, Mark. Uh-oh. It's going to be a pool hole. It's going to color of money next Wednesday. Color of money. So Shane, thanks for coming on as always. I know you're a busy guy. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Wednesday, and if you guys want to catch my other podcast, it's the Pulp Culture Wrestling stuff every Fridays at 9:00. Call me Dreamer for life. That'll be Friday. Yeah, okay. So everybody, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week. Go Steelers. Great draft time with the guys from overseas, and the draft was awesome. Hours and hours. You can't get any better than that. Next year, I think Mark's going to go for 35 hours. 35 hours straight. That'll be good. Okay, everybody. Later. Thank you, Gene. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much. Let me get out of here. And because it's all a lot of technical stuff. Shane, have a great night and a better tomorrow. Good night, everybody.